Gee.
This is where we hold them! This is where we fight! This is where they die! And these shield boys give them nothing, but take from them everything!
You see, old friend, I brought more soldiers than you did.
On a cold winter morning, in the time before the light, in flames of death's eternal rain, we ride towards the fight. When the darkness is falling down, in the times of double rise, the sound of evil laughter falls around the world tonight. Fighting hard, fighting on for the steel, to the wastelands evermore. The skeleton souls will feel the hell bodies wasted on the shore. On the blackest waves in hell the rain, we watch them as they go. In fire's pain, now once again we love. So now we fly, yeah, we're free. We're free before the thunderstorm. On towards the wilderness, our quest carries on. Far beyond the sundown, far beyond the moonlight. Deep inside our hearts and all our souls. So far away, we wait for the day, for the lights all so wasted and gone. We feel the pain of a lifetime lost in 1,000 days. Through the fire and the flames we carry on. As the red days dawn in, and the lightning cracks the sky, they'll raise their hands to the heavens above with resentment in their eyes. Running back through the mid-morning light, there's a burning in my heart. We're banished from the time in the fallen land to a life beyond the stars. In your blackest dreams, see through the need our destiny to shine. And then with me, we'll all be free tonight. And on the wings of a dream, so far beyond reality, all alone in desperation, now the time has gone. Lost inside, you'll never find, lost within my own mind. Day after day, this misery must go on. So far away, we wait for the day, for the lights all so wasted and gone. We feel the pain of a lifetime lost in 1,000 days. Through the fire and the flames we carry on.
This is where we hold them!
So far away, we wait for the day, for the lights all so wasted and gone. We feel the pain of a lifetime lost in 1,000 days. Through the fire and the flames we carry on.
You want to see how to rebuild a channel? I want to show you guys. When I said I was coming back and doing this channel and starting to work on this content again, it's because I do have a book coming out. Author Stephen Walton needs a return. And I'm looking at the landscape and everything's changed. Everything has changed. Every click, every crew, everything has changed. And it's good to see. I'm glad to see people putting their ass out there and getting strung up like they should. I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to see people who have been working hard on their content, on their channels, on themselves. I'm glad to see them succeeding. Glad to see y'all succeeding. Hail to all the YouTubers in the chat. Hail to everybody in the chat that is out there supporting these wonderful channels. And make sure, of course, to support your independent creators. Support your independent creators, whether they're writing or they're drawing, if they're creating, make sure to support them. Because the industry gives you the finger. It has been giving us the finger. I got tired of it for a little while, looking at these damn shows, looking at these. Oh my God, we're gonna talk Disney Star Wars tonight a little bit because we have to. Oh my God, I can't not. And I'll tell you what, I'm gonna grift better than any grifter So I'm ready for the criticism. I'm going to show y'all how to do it. I'm one of the people that started doing it, and I'm going to show you how to finish the game out. But before I do that, I'm going to bring this channel back to life. And with the messaging that I had in the beginning, Walton is healed. He is ready to rock. And just screw any haters. Don't let nobody, not a single person, whether they're a YouTuber or a critic or somebody in the show media, don't let a single person tell you you cannot succeed, you cannot grow, you cannot do it. Do not listen to haters. Haters are not helping you to do anything, all right? They're not doing it. It is all up to you, your power, your creativity. It is up to your determination. It is up to you. So keep it pushing, keep it real, or keep it moving. My love to y'all, and make sure, where the hell's my mouse? I can't even, and make sure to fix your hair before the show, because it's looking a little crazy. Before I begin, I want to say hi to the chat out here. What is going on, brothers and sisters? You know what? Actually, they're saying happy birthday to a certain sexy man, and I have to say hi. There's no, what, I can't, I'm in the middle of a show. I just started a show. It's what? You will go grab it. It's right there. All right, my son. It's family values, y'all. Make sure to support your family. Before I begin, close the door for me. Thank you very much. Before I begin, I want to bring one of the sexiest men on YouTube. Sexy. I don't understand how he keeps his looks. I don't understand, Ryan. How do you do it? Like, how do you maintain that physique?
Oh, sheer force of hate and bigotry, Steve. My goodness.
Now, as a pagan man, it is very difficult for me to keep this shape, to keep this body. What? I didn't what I say. I'm being real about who I am. They defaced Stonehenge a few days ago. I've been feeling it. You know what I mean?
That was egregious, man. I never thought those fuckers would ever deface definitely a World Heritage Site, if not a wonder of the world. But it's great to be here, Stephen. It's great to be back on Rogue Entertainment. And yes, it has been a while, too long, but over the past must have been at least months, if not maybe a year at the very longest. Yes, a new generation of content creators has risen to highlight the problem with popular culture, find the solution, and do their damnedest to be the change that they want to see. Now, I've said this so often, people are sick and tired of me saying it, but since it's been a while, Stephen, hopefully you enjoy those 3 steps to victory. And I would happily recommend you to this new generation of content creators, whether it's Hypnotic, whether it's Atreus, black guy who wears a cowboy hat. I literally call blacks Atreans now, based on him. There's also Will of the Fans, Dragon Slayer commentaries. Who else am I'm forgetting people now. Words of Paradise, all the fine folks of the Bigot Army, led by Hypnotic on Saturday Night Hypnosis. And I will be on that show in less than a few hours' time. But it's great to be here, Stephen, and I'm sure we'll have a great talk about some popular culture topics of the day. You may even get a bit of, reality-based, whether it's racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, transphobic, one of those.
I was looking for. I was listening to you, and I thought you've grown, you've changed, you embraced the black man. I don't know. I saw how close are you with this black-headed man?
Oh, we hang together. It's like chalk and cheese, like yin and yang. Yeah, we always have great talks on Saturday Night Hypnosis, and Hypno is really the glue that binds us all together. And he don't give a fuck. If you like him, you like him. If you despise him, then it's no skin off his fucking back. He'll go back and forth with you on Twix all fucking day, make 4 videos a day, 3 to 4 videos a day, and do a show a day just to put that cherry on the top. Got 45,000 subscribers, Stephen. He's one of the most super chatted channels in the United States of America.
Nice.
And he's only at 45,000. It's insane.
Good for him.
It's an inspiration.
Good for him. It's like, you can't care. You can't. I can say my fifis was too caught up, and I understand. You can't get your fifis up with these people. There are people out there that will like you, that don't like you, that will like. come at you in the cut, talk trash about you, try and destroy your reputation of other people. You can't care. It's going to happen. This is a part of it. It's Tony. I'm sorry. 1 second. I'll bring it up in a second. You can't care. You look at like one of my good friends, Gary, right? Fucking Gary. Got people coming at him all the time. Came at his wife, come at his family, come at his associates, come at anybody they can to try and literally grift off his energy. And we've seen this before. We saw this in the access media. We see this in Hollywood. What really disturbs me most, Ryan, is seeing the traits that we fought against when I understand it's not the Fandom Menace no more, but when we came up in the Fandom Menace, to see the same exact types of haters, tactics, like Antifa, like far left bullshit tactics coming out of places like Comics Gate and other places. It's the same thing. And to see my heroes, or people I thought were my heroes, to have fallen, and to create crews of people who harass, go after, and destroy other content creators, it boggles my mind. And I'm glad to see that the good ones are still going strong, and I hope that they continue on.
Well, generation after generation of content creator will have their time to shine, and there will be those who fade away, and there will be those who come back, such as yourself, from one era to another era. And, best of the old, best of the new can make a better, brighter future. And we learn generation after generation. Gamergate 2 is a great example of this. We highlight the problem with video games journalism with Alyssa Mercante and her ilk over at Kotaku, all the fine work that Hypno does, that Kabrutus does, that Smash JT does, that Grums does. And that's the next generation. And I'm sure folks will come along generations after, whether it's year by year or every few years, to fine-tune what started way back in terms of Gamergate, even way back in terms of Garmixgate, how it started, as well as how things developed with the Fandom Menace. Knowing this history and how things continue on into the future is great for those fine folks who are starting their creator journeys from the viewer to the content creator. And hopefully Rogue Entertainment will stand the test of time, because I remember watching those early streams, even the unlisted ones.
Yeah, well, it's changed over the years, and I am Rogue, so it's not going to stop until I decide to stop. Just people and you talk about creators. When I first started, the last run that we did, there was this awesome guy, Stark of Iron, who I saw as one of the most up and coming, best talents ever. And since leaving, going off and crying about Narcissists, I'm sorry, I had to cry. I had to go cry about Narcs for a little while. And building that 10K channel, I came back and I found this. Here I am watching Tony, Stark of Iron, just building this wonderful channel, my brother. And it is so good to see that you have excelled in the time. From then to now, but it's still shit's falling apart over there. You all right?
No. I'm in the suit right now. Give me 1 second.
There we go. Now, okay. Hi. How's everyone doing? Well, thank you for the kind words and encouragement. It means a lot. Means a lot.
That is called a reach around, and I have no problem giving you a reach around now and again. A couple back kisses, and that's how we roll.
Little Army. Say that 3 times fast. Army reaching around.
No, man, love isn't gay. That's the one thing that people just don't understand, Tony. It's love. I'm giving you love. How you been, dude? What have you been up to?
You see it. Living the dream, dreaming to live, hopefully not to wake up to die, as the saying goes. Snow Dove's practices are necessary. That's fine. I've just been kicking it, doing my own thing, do an after show after the biggest party on earth. I covet and I bite and I drool and I occasionally insert in places that it don't need to be. My silver medal at being the second best variety show on YouTube, and I dare anybody to say otherwise, because there's only 2 variety shows that I know of, and that's the big one in mine. So my silver medal, mine.
When I first started, we both come out of Doomcock's chat, and I've always loved that man. First off, for me, he has maintained the values that we started out with, like the whole group of us. He supports smaller creators. He hangs out with the people. He's he's all talent. Like he doesn't just complain about Star Wars or Star Trek and all that stuff. He really gives you a full show. He puts his whole heart and talent into it. And
I had a good talk with Doomcock. It must have been late February. He was on Canadian Spider-Man's channel along with myself, and we were mourning the loss of Cardinal Sin, and he did get very emotional during that show. But thankfully, he is still here. Thankfully, he's not queer, and he's still going, and hopefully, he's still growing. See, Stephen, you're getting a hint of homophobia on your rogue entertainment.
No, hey, not wrong with that. Listen, Doomcock reaches around. He's reached down and around. He helped me get monetized. He gave me a nice reach. Like it was down and under, bro. And I appreciate that so much. When I saw him, I love his chat. Going to his chat's like going home for me. Really, it's like I think that's the one channel I've done everything to maintain support when I, financially. And but when I saw him, I saw you, Tony, and I was what you were doing, and I was like, "There's another dude with that amount of talent and ability." You got to get monetized soon, man.
I'm monetized now. I have super chats and
that's right.
Available. Remember,
nice.
I'm one of those wee little lads that entered the YouTube sphere when everything was on easy mode. Okay, so like,
my.
Yeah, I know. I'm spoiled young, and what can I say? But DC. Speaking of DC, I love him to death. He's a good friend of mine. About once a month, you'll see me on Pop Culture Breakdown, hanging out with the guys, and all of those guys are great. Andy Masterson, Gary Ambrosia, Nick from Echo Base, Mr. Nelson. They're a Mexican Iron Man. Well, Mexican Iron Man and I, we're kind of like distant cousins. He gets some of my hand-me-down suit parts. And shout out to my good friend Snowdub from the Tower After Hours interview that we recently did. El Perro got in the back door. He took a little advice from Mike Roch and used the back door, as it were. And you
don't want El Perro in your back door.
No, yeah, he thought I was Mexican Iron Man, but then again, he is a dog, so I can see.
What about future generations of content creators, folks? You got the Puppet Wars, the old school Puppet Master against the Comicsgate version of the Puppet Master. Never thought I'd see that myself, but
heavens, more cotton flying around than a slumber party with a bunch of sorority girls. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh. Yeah,
cotton and feathers and just pow pow pow. Be done.
And
the cotton wars.
Yeah, and let's be real. Snow's been doing it for years. Like he can troll you. He can point you out. He can laugh at you. He does not give a damn. He's one of the hardest creators who has been through the ups and downs, just like I have, just like some of us have, and still continues on. The Cotton Connection is going strong, and I don't see a group of the Ripitards, whatever they call it. That I don't see those puppets making it. For having the same longevity. First off,
copycats.
Exactly.
They rehash the same joke. Like the production quality. Here's what I'll give them from a critical standpoint. The production quality is right on the money because they're getting money for ripping people off, right?
Yeah.
But they're literally saying the same joke over and over and over again. They don't understand what the rule of threes means. They don't understand what comedy is. They're catering to the lowest common denominator of the audience.
Stephen just used a Comicsgate term for Ripper fans, which is Ripper Tards. And I've done my best, despite being absolutely batshit crazy, to be neutral throughout this whole situation. We've had 5 Ripper fans and 5 Comicsgaters on reality.
And you're really keeping it like level, huh?
Yeah. We want to get a perfectly balanced view, and I will say this, as I have said it a good few times, I would happily host one of each side to have a good conversation, and that's what I do. Both sides have to agree to it, though.
Right. Try staying friends with Black Angus through all this, okay? That's my boy. Angus is out there waving a riptard flag like a mother.
Hey, he likes tranny demons.
As
like-
all things should be.
Black Angus loves them tranny demons. I
does.
despise them personally, but we can still be friendly. We can still have good talks. We can still agree to disagree and have a good time.
Listen, you don't understand what it's like, all right, to be in a chat with Angus. He tries to make us gay every now and again, and Snow and I don't fall for it. We don't fall for it. We're not. I'm like, Angus, keep your gay ass fuckery away from me. Papa Cotton's in there just trying to stir the pot, and he's not even. I don't know. I'm starting to question Papa Cotton too. He might be a little. I don't know. I don't know.
That's a great thing about Rogue Entertainment. From when it started to where it is today, it's been a great group of people that has changed over the years as things have developed. Content creation can be very, very unstable in that regard. I mean, Stephen's a great example of the trials and tribulations of a creator.
I thought you were going to say instability, and I was going to have to. Okay, go ahead.
Well, more like inconsistency, but you've done well nevertheless. You've gone through heaven and hell and managed to come out of both good for the most
Thank
part.
you, brother.
Good job, Dante.
It's about managing the creator journey, and yes, this can drive you insane. Just look at Nick Rekieta.
I can't say anything bad. Whenever he covered the Rittenhouse trial, that was the most revolutionary thing that I saw on YouTube.
A lot
I
really has
see
changed.
the path he's going down, and I'll be quite honest. If you guys want me to be real, no jokes, no, sound effects, no impersonations. I know. You man of a
You gonna
thousand
keep it
voices
real?
is being serious. What the fuck is
Oh
this?
my.
Maybe the world is ending.
This is a special moment.
I was on my way into the bottle, very much like a good friend of ours, Nick. And I had really good friends that helped me pull myself out of it. And I honestly hope, and I say it to Almighty God, I say, please get some friends that'll help you pull yourself out of it. Because I was on the precipice. I was looking into the abyss. I was looking back. The abyss in the form of a bottle. And it's not pretty. It destroys you. It rips you apart. Tears you down. Changes you fundamentally. It turns you into a husk of your former self. And on that note, I'm going to go ahead and crack myself a beer. Back to the show.
Okay. Thank you.
Would you like some cocaine, Tony?
I played with coke for a little bit. Man, I just If I want my heart to jump out of my chest and sing Telephone, I'll do it the old-fashioned way with beer and Monster.
It's just a white box, folks. And I bring up the Rekieta situation because a lot has changed since Reality Based has had a good talk with the author Stephen Walton or Ladonis Dragonstorm. I'd love to learn how to deal with and find out about narco demons. It's just a matter of scheduling.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't want to find out. You don't want to find out about it. We don't want to know nothing about that.
Gotta highlight the problem, find the solution, and be
Friendly
the
neighborhood narco demon, friendly neighborhood addiction, there to ruin your facial features. Wait, what?
Yeah. The whole, okay, I got to kind of go back. I'll talk about Nick just for a minute. Because when it first dropped, I said I didn't want to. And that's because I have been lambasted in public for doing dumb shit. And so, I understand what he's, I understand that part of it. I also look at the kids, the children in this situation. And I said, the first thing that's going to happen, I know what's going to happen. The first thing's going to happen is the people that are going to use him, like the certain people, like the people in that sphere do, how they kind of they'll go after someone either directly attacking them or they'll attach themselves to a situation as if they're defending it and actually using it, without any real care for the situation or people. And I said, that's going to happen to the kids. I know what's going to happen with these children. How the friends are going to begin talking about the kids as, in either direction as a way to promote their channels or create drama or to create, whatever. And I said, I don't want to do that. When you look at the situation that was unfolding with Eric July. Now, I've never met Eric July. I was, you can say I was a fan. I was kind of a fan. I liked him. Have you?
On Saturday
That's awesome.
Night Hypnosis, he was on, and later the Soska sisters were Ron. We all had a good talk about
I'm not familiar with them. I didn't dive that far into what was going on. What I saw as far as Eric went was I saw Eric July being successful. He was working with, as a lot of people have, like even Drunk 3PO. I had to give Jay a side eye when he was over there streaming with EVS and those fucking narcissists. I did, because like I know, like, you've been around these people for years. You know what they're about. They are about whisper networks. Before I even understood what narcissists were, I understood that was a bad crew. And now that I understand what narcissism is, I don't want to go too far into that because that's the other channel stuff. But like now that I can recognize flying monkeys, smear campaigns, devaluation, triangulation, all of these things that these types of people do, I'm like, that's what they are. I know what the core of CG is. And I saw Eric over there, and I'm like, he gonna get bit. And then I saw him get bit. I didn't say anything because it really wasn't my thing. But once I saw the smear campaign starting, and I saw the flying monkeys being gathered, and the whisper networks, and all of the attacks that were going against his character, and especially with this other guy who was like stalking him, and got picked up, thank God, outside of the meetup. I watched. If you can't tell that dude's mentally unstable, you just love drama. You love the Jerry Springer show, which is on you. But I saw that, and that's when I support Eric July. I haven't bought ISOM. I don't have a thing to say about ISOM, which has been really different for me in how I have been approached by people like Angus. And I have friends who are on the anti-RIPA side, and I have friends that are on, that like RIPA. And nobody seems, it took me months to get through their heads. I'm not talking about the comic. Not talking about how good it is, the writing, the art. I'm not talking any of it. No, I'm looking at the situation where there's someone being coordinatedly harassed, constantly trying to devalue, destroy his reputation, destroy his financial viability because they're jealous. They're in their fifis because they didn't make as much money, or they're not there. They look at somebody else's success and they get upset with it and they have to attack it. Right. That's my angle. That's where I'm looking at it. And then Nick fell, right? And I kind of got loud out there. Like I was calling EBS out, whatever. He should be called out. But there's only so much you can do with a narc unless they go to psychotherapy and actually change themselves. They're still going to be a bag of shit. And I'm watching his henchman break away like JDA. JDA's had his nose so far up fucking EVS's ass for so long. He wants to be EVS. That's the problem with Delarose. He really wants to be EVS. And now he's turning on him, and I'm not going to say the other names, like, Flat, and all the other people that for years were totally fine with co-signing, fine with co-signing with all the destruction that he was causing. But now that they got pushed out, they got their own little hater group, let them implode. When I saw what happened with Nick, I was like, okay, this was coming anyway, because he was in that groove with those people. But I like Tony was saying, first off, I recognize an addictive personality. I had to be told that I had an addictive personality, and I didn't realize that. Shout out to Sporking, who opened up and kind of told me about myself.
We're all addicted to streaming. That's evidence.
Well, well, right. Well, but I had to understand that in order to grow myself. And I see Nick and what he's going through and how he's spiraling. And I'm like, okay. One, you like to see from I don't know Nick that well, but I've seen who he's hung out with and the actions he has partaken in, and I understand people. I am not the type of person that enjoys. If you gather up chat groups to attack somebody, if you gather up chats and have live streams just to attack others week after week or go after someone's reputation, that is not cool. That is not good behavior. That's Jerry Springer behavior. Now there are definitely an audience out there for that drama, but that's not good. That's not being a good human being. And so when I see one of them fall, I'm like, whatever. It's fall. That's your karma. You've been destroying others, destroy yourself. Right. But my main issue there was with the kids. Like I know what that's like. Going through the self-destructive actions that I did for a while by chasing someone who did not deserve my attention and destroying and imploding everything and myself. My own decision, accountability. As Tony, accountability means a lot. When you're recovering.
Own your mistakes because they define you as a better person that you'll forge out of it. Iron is meant to be struck when it's hot, and pieces fly off with every stroke. So forge while the iron is hot, and you'll have the best steel.
And I like that you use stroke the right way. Thank you. So I'm looking at what's going on with that situation, and I knew it was coming next.
See me after this, and we'll determine what stroke means in the wrong.
All right, we're doing that, Tone.
Oh my!
I'm sensing a little Angus in you. I like it. But no, but for real though, like I knew it was going to happen because there was a family situation involved, and when we as YouTubers, especially, I think big or small, I don't think it matters, but we as YouTubers who make mistakes or come after criticism, heavy criticism for whatever the case is, our first instinct is to get out there and keep hammering it out, keep live streaming, keep talking, keep posting, keep, and I knew that I had a good idea Nick was going to do that. And sometimes you've got to take a step back and heal yourself and heal your surroundings, I knew so I look at that and I see the fallout that's about to happen or is happening. And like I said, I knew how other people were going to be using his kids as triangulation in order to attach themselves to the situation as concerned friends and just grow off of someone else's self-destruction. And I look at what happened with my kids, with my son with what I went through. And I'm like, I've been through it. It was something similar. So I know the steps. First off, take a step back, work on your family, work on yourself and your family, and I feel bad for him. So like, I haven't really done videos. I don't plan on doing streams. I don't plan on talking about that all that much because it is a serious situation. Nick has to help himself. He has to help himself. If he keeps live streaming and keeps doing what he's doing, it's not going to help. It's going to exasperate the situation. And that's the way I look at it. That's the way I see it. Yeah, see, look, I even shut Ryan up. Ryan was like, he is too saucy. I can't say another word. This poor dude.
Well, it's hard to help fine folks and fellow creators catch up to how things are, because a lot has changed. They say a week is a long time in politics. It's not a very long time as a content creator. A lot of things happen over the course of a week. Many topics about many things and many people, and it can drive you mad, especially with scheduling, trying to keep on top of everything. So much so that I make videos now mostly from either my own show or from me on other shows. Not this show though, because I don't have my pen and paper and my timestamps. But you never know. Could get them soon.
We are a half hour in and I didn't hail the chat, so let me hail the chat and then we can talk about what we should talk about.
Welcome back, Steven.
Yeah, thank you. Fucking chat out there, Keely Chow out there, always been supporting. My love to you, brother. Thank you so much for being here. Greatly appreciate you. Hail the fourth wave, CJH in the house. What's up, CJ? Good to see you. Great supporter. Even transcended over to Dragonstorm, which I really appreciate. Thank you to everybody who took the time to at least come over, see a stream, hang out when I was doing Dragonstorm. I'm still doing it, but it's not. This is my focus now. My focus has returned off to Stephen Walton. Slender Dad's in the house. What's up, dude? There be Rogues here. Good to see you. Love seeing you hanging out. Little Chad hanging out with Mad Bardigan and all the cool people over there. Thank you so much for being around. King of the Squibs is here, always commenting in my videos. I promise I got some more long form videos coming. I just haven't had the time to put into it. And I'm going to be doing that again. The Grift has returned. What's up, Angela's Draven? There be Rogues here. Hail, dude. Guys, please check out Draven and all the cool people he hangs out with. Like Ita Wakunian changed his name to Wrestling with Horror. So if you guys are into wrestling and horror, please check out his shows and the great things that they are doing over there. Poor Zax. I was over on Zax's channel. I was sick as shit. My audio wouldn't work. I'm sorry, Zax. Listen, I was having green dookie. And when you're having green dookie, that means that you're sick. It really means, and I was sick. And I apologize. I didn't mean to bring my green dookie to your channel. But I promise, next time I come, it will be healthy author Walton Dookie. All right? I promise. Thank you so much. It's good to see you, Zax. Hail to you and all the wonderful people he streamed with. And he had Cameron Pasha on. I love Cameron Pasha. He is
Cameron's
first
wild.
off, he's great. He's great on the live stream, Tony, because he don't shut up. It's like, oh God, I can just sit back and relax.
I thought I talked a lot, and then I met Cameron Pasha. Like, I'm not kidding. Yeah.
What I like about Cameron a lot is that first off, he doesn't yield. He definitely believes in what he believes in. He will give you the time to speak. He listens to what you have to say. And conversations with him are as highbrow as you can get, and I enjoy him. Like he listens to my pagan. I'm a pagan man. See, I'm a pagan man, and he listens to my paganism.
Right.
He listens. Right. All right. And then he comes back at me with his Muslimism, and we're cool. We jive like
Islam, you bloody moron.
is that he had to correct me. See, the Xenophobe had to correct me.
He can't say pagan and he can't say Islam.
I can say pagan. I'm pagan. I've been saying pagan. I've been saying pagan. I don't understand.
Stop saying pagan. It's pagan.
I'm saying pagan.
Hey, Steven, can you do me a follow? Can you do me a super solid and say the word bacon?
Bacon.
And you can't say pagan?
I'm saying pagan.
I've told people about this, and you're literally the only person.
The syntax is uncanny.
I know, and it's hilarious too.
I'm a pagan man from Delaware County. All right, it's not pagan. I'm not saying pagan. I'm saying pagan. That's not pagan. All right, I don't put things in my ass. That's not what happens. Okay?
Come on, you already know you do.
This is why you won't have me on Ladonis, Ravenwolf, Dragonstorm, because I'll just troll him every time he says pagan.
I don't understand. I don't get it. Since I keep it moist instead. What do you call it? Stick a truck? Where you going with that? I understand.
Oh, I've missed this show. All right.
You doing, sweetheart?
Tina.
Good to see you. Tina's one of the best people out here, y'all. If you see Tina in the chat, you know it's good people. All right. Yeah, F the jack off first. I was trying to think jack off first, and I said repertoires. I messed up in the beginning. I did. But Ryan made sure to point that out. And it made me look like more equal. I guess more like I don't know. I'm trying, Snow. Let's see. Real quick. Angela says the repertoire puppets are hilarious, and the people getting bent out of shape don't understand satire. Also, both sides of the war are shit CG and Rippaverse. Okay. All right, Angela. Does not find the repertoire puppets hilarious. The dude who runs those weak sock puppets is scum. Goes out of his way to make personal attacks. And I cannot support somebody who thinks going after wives is cool. Exactly, brother. There's got to be a line somewhere, for fuck's sake.
Hey, don't worry, Snowdub. Just like you came from nowhere and your Comicscape variant came from nowhere, I'm sure another fucker will come from nowhere as a viewer to a creator who also does puppets, and so on and so forth. That's the nature of content creation. Every prior generation inspires the next generation, whether it's positive or negative. Look at me. I look like a cross between Stephen Walton and Culture Casino. Add a bit of, bigotry from Hypnotic, and I've become reality-based.
Right. I mean, see, look at that. I'm glad I'm in that mix. You make me feel better about myself. Thank you,
I'm
Ryan.
glad, because if we had Chemical X in there, we'd have a woke program.
Better than Director X. That fucker made that Robin Hood show, and it was living cringe. And Hypno had him on, and we all grilled him, and I was fucking sick and ill, and it was a 4-hour show. And
oh my God,
man!
I was gone during that whole time. I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. I didn't.
That's fine.
Well, that's okay. That's why we can just direct you to the tapes, and you can plug them into the VCR and rewind them. You can watch them, and you can go all by yourself.
33 weeks ago, I think. Yeah, 33 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a little too late to make I think it's a little too late to make videos about it, but I'm going to be watching a lot of shit content and raging about it. So
the advice that I give,
warmed up.
Yeah, the advice that I give to us small timers, I still haven't hit a K yet. All right, is the power of the rewind helps. So go with it.
The power of one, audience. The power of two. The
power of baby. Wait, what?
Which is why, like in the new intro, the intro that I made for our Rogue, it's stuff that I love, or it's stuff that people liked, cartoons and movies that people enjoyed. You're right, hit the rewind button, because there's a lot better movies, characters, stories in the past than we are getting today. But it's rare that we get stuff that I like today. That's why I'm going to talk a little bit about House of the Dragon, and Mayor of Kingstown, and of course we got to cover something. We got to cover the Acolyte. We got that was a shit show and a half.
I got a fun fact, guys. Got a couple of songs queued up, and I'll be bringing out the piano for that.
Oh, we're going to do that very soon, sir. Miss Tickledrunk said, imagine not agreeing on one effing thing and still talking to each other. You sure this is the internet? Yes, that's what Fatties is all about. That's what we started out. That was that crew in the beginning, before TFM was even TFM. You know, just a crew of like 6, 7 of us that were just trying to make it, all building channels, all working with one another. And, you know, although we don't talk all the time and hang out all the time, it's that one space, that one chat I always love going to, because I can get different opinions and hear different voices, and we can just go in there and talk about whatever we want to talk about, and it's cool. Like I really do enjoy that group of people, and I'm glad that we're still hanging out.
That's why I'm honored and privileged to be part of Saturday Night Hypnosis. I mean, we're getting close to 100 episodes now. I debuted on episode 30. Every show has been stellar, even the one with Director X, although I was not feeling very well. The irony, the only time I've ever been sick is when they have a black guest. But in all seriousness,
Steven,
there's a great team of like 8, 9 people on that, including myself, and we all hang together. No wonder folks say it's going to be the next Friday Night Tights, and Hypno's leading the charge, man. 2 years ago, I had more subscribers than him. We only had a couple of hundred. Now I'm at past 2,500, and he's over 45.
Consistency, man.
Just goes. I just throw everything against the wall, see what sticks.
I got a question. So you said you've met so many voices. You mean to tell me that there's people out there that only have one voice apiece?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I can't. Hold on. I'm gonna confer with my committee here. Yeah, Morty, there's literally people out there that only have one voice. Oh, jeez. Hooray, it's time for impersonations, maybe. Oh, damn it, what the hell am I doing here? And this little rant was brought to you by the letter N for narcissist.
I tell you this, Ladonis, if you're listening in, multiple personality disorder.
I said, well, I don't cover those disorders. I have 2, and that's enough. So, what's up? Good to see you. Let me see. I just want to make sure I caught everybody. See, saw Snow out there, and I want to catch up with the chat. And thank you guys so much for being here. Please make sure to smash that like button, share out the link. Greatly appreciate you. Snowdub says, I've been trying to stay away from the negative vibes these days. I just don't have the time or energy to engage. Just want to have some fun again. Good for you, man. Good for you, brother. Every now and again, we got called out. So, like, listen.
I was just going to say, I always enjoy Snowdub's music. I know he was once called Snowdub's Music and Entertainment. So, hey, there's a big gap in the market for music. So much so, I have a show called Reality Based Music. Don't know a damn thing about music, but it seems to be resonating with people, especially with our criminally underrated regulars. So,
or it's bored out there building a huge channel on it.
Hopefully I could actually come over there one of those days and play a few do some kittens on the keys for you all over there, and play some songs and sing some of my parodies to get that going for you. We'll talk.
Oh yeah, definitely. Schedule permitting, of course.
Oh, I'm committing? No, I didn't say that. Is it a committee? Do I need to talk to the committee, or am I committing?
I said schedule permitting, you deaf American drunk. For sure.
I said, man.
Would you care for some cocaine?
Oh no, please. I can't. But it's so nice. Oh, God.
No, you know, anytime something comes up you want to talk about, you know who to rant with. We do it on my channel or yours. I don't care. Revive Wednesday, whatever you want to do. You let me know. One thing about Snow that I love, we have no issue calling out fuckery. We will do that anytime. Zach says Hypno busts his ass and follows a plan. Tons of respect for what he's built.
It's been a while since Zach has been on Saturday Night Hypnosis. It's always good to have a good talk with Zach.
Zax is incredible. Zax is one of the, Ord, Snow, Zax. These are some of the coolest people you will find, other than the people on this panel, in this entire indie sphere, with the bar none. What are you talking about? First, Stefan. You messing with my Peg Ann? Is that what you're messing with right now? Learn to jump forward in the chat. Well, I'm glad. What is happening? I don't know. It's Rogue. You know what's going on. Snow says he's planning to drop it. He's planning to drop a new song next year.
Good.
And Let's see. Good to know Ryan is still an Americaphobe.
But of course. That's why we love him.
So nobody on the panel besides myself has watched Mayor of Kingstown. Slenderdad has. Him, myself, Lil Chad, who else? Tina Bojan used to cover, and Mad. We used to cover it on Sport News Podcast. So since nobody has, I just want to say, if you guys are looking for good drama, please check out the Mayor of Kingstown. And you know a show is good. Here, I'm about to bring it up. Let me make sure the page is still up. You know that a show is good when Rotten Tomatoes don't like it.
Right.
We've talked about this so many times in the past, and how if Rotten Tomatoes, if the critics there say something's bad and the audience says it's good, it's good.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's probably great.
Just look at the example with Doctor Who, or as I like to call it now, Disney Who, especially with all the funding Disney is putting into it. It's like 97% for the critics and like 34% for the audience. That show is just egregiously awful. But another thing I'd like to say on Mayor of Kingstown, especially for a show that's on a streaming service, for it to last more than 2 seasons, that's one hell of a fucking achievement. Because most streaming shows get canceled after a season or 2.
And it's not just that, Ryan. It's after, like, toward the end of season 2, they still had like 3 episodes to release. He was in an accident. He was there was a snow remover. I can't think of the name of the machine, but those big one of the big ones though, one of the huge ones. And he was saving his nephew from getting run over, and he ended up like getting chopped up by this thing. Like he got really mauled by it. So he couldn't even really, they kind of had to re-edit the last few episodes with him in it. And then they had to postpone the season because they didn't know if he was going to come back. He had to get surgery. So like Jeremy survived a lot to come back and do this 3rd season. And I think that speaks even more to a streaming service continuing on a show after someone, the lead character has been hospitalized and had to go through surgery to recover. Still, yes, Renner is a freaking boss. Yeah. And it's good to see that. First off, it's good to see a show continue on, especially after the lead actor had gone through what he went through. But one of the reasons that the Rotten Tomatoes people don't like it is because it's not woke. It is not woke. It's real. Like woke is in like how how they use that word. It's about as real, tough as nails characters, and as far as like the dark side of humanity, like the criminal underside of humanity, the jail system, police, and the interaction between the two. And this weird juxtation that you have in Jeremy Renner being the mayor, who's a person who works basically in between the law. He was a criminal. He was, and he now works with people who are trying to take care of others inside jail, with gang leaders, with the police, and trying to keep this town from blowing up on itself, from like self-destructing. Like he's just this middleman. And he's tough as nails. Yeah, he is tough as nails. Forget the Marvel guy. Forget that character you saw. He is balls deep in beating somebody's ass, Ryan.
Oh, goodness me. Although when I think of wokeness, I think of political correctness, I think of social justice, I think of identity politics. In that kind of setting, it's very difficult to put those things in without completely destroying the entire point of the show. It's far easier to do that in, say, science fiction or fantasy, to put in this kind of messaging. Disney Who is a great example of that. And when Doctor Who was when Doctor Who was under the administration of the BBC from 2018 until 2022, it went from nearly 11 million viewers to 4 million. So it lost 7 million views over the span of 4 years? That's insane. And it's still bleeding out despite Disney's money. And it's all because of how it is being run, how it is being managed, the scripts, the storylines, and all of this nonsense bollocks, which is why I believe that woke ideology can be boiled down to 3 things: political correctness, social justice, and identity politics. Let's go back to how we used to identify it when Stephen Walton started his creator journey when woke wasn't really a thing. It wasn't a term. Everyone was saying politically correct or social justice warrior or using identity politics as a term.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's do that.
it was a term. Actually, woke's been around, at least to my knowledge, since the 90s. But as the radical left in today's age, any radical does this. But the radical ideology of the left in today's age, they take something good, they take something with a positive meaning, and then they absorb it, they colonize it, and then they twist it into meaning something else. So woke, when I grew up, that's an African American term, a Black American term, which meant seeing beyond the pages of the paper, like the pages of history, looking at the context of the time, looking at the person who wrote this, who wrote the historical documentation you're reading, looking at something outside of the box that we have been presented with in the frame of history. Woke that was a good term. To this day, when I'm in one of those communities and I get told I'm a woke dude, I'm like, thank you, because I understand what that means. The far left took that and again turned it into something that it's not. The same thing, the same way they took racism, they've turned it into something it's not. They're actually the racists, because espousing racism, pointing the finger at others if you don't agree with their insane rhetoric. They took that term woke and they twisted it into something else.
Damn,
into
Moth.
Meaning.
Go away, Moth.
Yeah.
Annoying bastard. They are my enemy now, moths. They're everywhere.
Get
Go away.
some spray. Don't you have a spray or anything for that?
No, they're not harmful. They're not like flies or chickens or frogs. Moths are more of an annoyance than something that can cause any harm. But the best way to make pop culture great again, folks, is to follow the 3 steps to victory. Content creators are very good at doing the first 2. The third one's very difficult, though. That's highlight the problem, find the solution, and be the said solution. And it's very difficult to do that without having serious financial backing. No wonder everyone's at each other's throats as to finding the solution and being it. But hopefully we can get more examples of the Mayor of Kingstown and less examples of, lesbian force users and squirting on squirrels, which is
good segue.
Which is what I saw when covering the Acolyte on Dragon Slayer Commentary's Tangent King podcast. It will be released over the next few days. He wanted to do it as a pre-record, Stephen, and I'm like, damn, man, do it live. But he's like, no, we gotta wait. We gotta wait until we've got a playlist. That fucker is just a second-rate version of everyone else on Saturday Night Hypnosis. I got you moth bastard. How do you like that? There we go.
Good for you. Dragon Slayer. I like that name. What's going on over there?
Oh, he's a great guy. He makes movie and television show reviews. Takes him like a month to make a video, so we all have a go at him for that. But he started a new podcast, a Tangent King podcast. Talk about all manner of stuff in terms of popular culture. Long-form videos. Hopefully you will enjoy them. And hopefully you'll enjoy the next episode where I basically fuck around and find out and have a great time with Bobby and sabotage Dragon's show in the process.
Beautiful. We got to fill the air until Tony's ready to sing. But go real quick, going back to Rotten Tomatoes. We found this out years ago, especially when Captain Marvel dropped. And it was like the most protected movie in history. They erased audience scores. They manufactured them. They sent, the Brie bots. Everybody remember the Brie? A lot of channels were built on those Brie bots.
Let's make 50 Brie Larson videos, shall we? God.
It worked.
I say that, Stephen, but I've made like 15 to 20 Alyssa Mercante videos. It's like the gift that keeps on giving.
You need to mind it. Don't be ashamed, Ryan. Mind it. Look,
That woman, Stephen, is a digital prostitute cosplaying as a video games journalist. She was literally a sex worker. She used sex work to pay for a university tuition. My goodness, that's how desperate she is. And she's the senior editor of Kotaku currently. And she's cosplaying as a video games journalist while bitching and moaning like any good prostitute should.
That is so much like the original Gamergate story,
Yeah.
like damn near.
Hmm.
Wow. I mean, so it wasn't just 5 guys this time.
No.
It was.
Well,
it
that
was-
woman is just egregious, and I gotta connect you to some of these fine folks because there's a new generation of creators rising, and it's great to mix the old with. with the new.
Listen, Ryan, if they are untouched by any of the people I used to work with, yes. Yes, absolutely. Like, I would love to meet some people that won't go, Steve Walton, I've heard about you. I would love to meet some people like that.
Hey, you've stayed under the radar long enough, Stephen. I found that when it comes to content creation, if you go from one domain to another and then stay in that other domain for a few years, everyone fucking forgets about you.
No shit. And yeah, that's the truth of it. I'm over there on at Dragonstorm. I'm building a team over there with some good people. This dude Scotty, this dude Coach Randy White, who is he's a abuse recovery coach, and he's building an entire sphere of motivational work, self-help, coaching, self-help motivation. So like over on Facebook, on TikTok. He's an amazing creator, amazing guy. That is really has his heart in what he's doing. And so I've met, along with him, I've met like all these different people, Ryan, this outside of everything we were doing, any entertainment commentary, any of the old Fandom Menace or post Fandom Menace stuff, nothing to do with any of it. And it's a breath of fresh air to meet new lunch tables of people who are doing something different and have kind of a real positive motivation. And as far as self-betterment, helping others. And I've enjoyed it so much to be there in that space. But I'd like to bring that energy back over here because that's kind of what I wanted to do here in the first place was, be that bridge or be helpful, help other people promote, being good to each other, suffer no fools. And then I fell for the biggest fool and became the biggest fool. But we all trip up. Listen,
hey, there's a lot more here now, Stephen. And if you go back over to Dragonstorm for another year, there'll probably be another generation of creators coming along. It's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You can't keep track of it all. I'm personally amazed that everyone isn't batshit crazy and killing each other at the moment. And it's just getting more and more packed and intense and insane.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why, like, when I started coming back and, and seeing what was going on, I kicked a few beehives. It's like, fuck them. I just kicked a few because everybody's attacking each other and falling apart and showing their ass. I was like, all right, let me everybody know Walton's back. Let me kick a few of these. But I don't want to exist in that. Like, that's not my content. That's not what I wanted to do. It's nothing I ever really wanted to do. I want to really just stand on the front lines with my brothers and sisters, fighting this intersectional feminism, fighting this bullshit, these racists calling us racist. And the crazy thing...
I can tell you this, Stephen, before you continue. Content creators are making a difference slowly but surely. Good. We are seeing more and more defections over to our side, for lack of a better term. And we are seeing the tide turning, so much so that there seems to be a bit of a divide over what to do. Do we reform the existing institutions and make them great again that way? Or do we revolutionize them, burn them to the ground, and create that cultural desert necessary to rebuild popular culture completely and utterly in our own way as content creators?
I had mixed feelings when you were saying that, like a year ago when we were streaming. I had mixed feelings about, but I like to present a group where everybody kind of has different views and they can feel free to express themselves. I think it's important, having, real discourse, not Juneteenth discourse. But I think that honestly, having calmed and refocused and being, I think, back more myself, burn it to the ground. If it's going to continue to be groups of people, production houses who are explaining us to ourselves, you know, through the lens of someone who is an actual sexist, racist, who doesn't give a damn about us. Privileged millionaires talking about how they're oppressed. Privileged millionaires, right, yeah, talking about how, hold on, I'm gonna stop it. Talking about how they're being held down. They're, you know, like they're dealing with racist, sexist. Really, you're dealing with shit. Why don't you come to the store with me and pay for a week's worth of groceries? Because I'm struggling to do that. Why don't you come help me pay with my bills? I'm dealing with the struggle, and I'll tell you what, I'm dealing with the struggle in a mostly black community, and isn't nobody killing each other over here. You know, like I don't understand. It must be real privileged in Hollywood. It must be real dangerous in Hollywood for someone to be so privileged that they can sit around and bash people and bitch about that.
It's not the giorno, it's the struggle.
Hey,
right.
Well, before Tony sings a song for us, allow me to put the based into reality-based. First of all, Amandla Stenberg. The reason there's an L in her name is so she can take it. And second of all, Stenberg, everyone was saying, oh, that's a very German name. And I'm like, no, it isn't. She's an African Jew. Her mother's an African, and her rich daddy is a tiny hat Jew.
You know,
I missed your no filter, Ryan.
hey, the truth is reality based, my good man.
Nope. Yeah, Tony, are you ready, sir, to open up this next segment?
We're going to do the next segment. We're going to be talking about the Acolyte, or as I like to call it, the Crackolite.
Yes, sir. You have the center stage, sir.
All right. Well, we'll do the opener, and you know, it's not necessarily a rap song yet, even though Sean Carter and I recently wrote one of those that I featured last night at the After Party show, the Stark Saturday Matinee show. Shameless plug here. I don't know if I'm a wrench here, but somebody can throw a link into the channel while I do this opener. But I will be playing the piano for you all at the end of the segment. It is a 10-minute long Don McLean parody, so be forewarned. But we'll just open it up with a little appetizer that goes a little bit like this. Bum, 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 bum. Crack that whip. Bum, 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 bum. Lightsaber has slipped. Bum, 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 bum. Fat Jedi's crack. Bum, 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 bum. Break your wallet's back. The Crackolite comes along. You must whip her. She'll diddle Star Wars corpse. Unless you whip her, she will not go away. You must whip her. Now whip it. Pronouns yay. Tune it out. So gay. So backward. It is dead. Try to avoid it. Go out and play. She'll whip it. Whip it good when lightsabers come on out. You can whip it. You swing it all around because you whip it. That's how lightsabers work. You get to whip it. I say whip her. Whip her good. Please just whip it. Make Star Wars good. Oh, the Crackolite comes along. You must whip her. She'll diddle Star Wars corpse. Unless you whip her, she will not go away. You must whip her. Now whip him. Fat Jedi. Female Force. God, why? Go outside. A crash course. Try to defeat it. It's not too late to leave it. Laying waste. Whip it out. That's gay. Woke Star Wars. That's okay. Try to delay it. It is the way to whip her. Whip her good.
Nice, brother.
What a great song about whipping black women.
That's, holy
It's double your pleasure, double your fun. Isn't that right, bud?
A lot of people get concerned about me being very controversial, especially when I target crippled people, and I'm just like, the truth is reality based. I've been accused of many things, but I've never been accused of being a liar. So yeah,
brother, keep it right. Like when people used to call me racist back, I don't know, years ago, I'd be like, I'm not racist. I'm realistic. I'm being realistic with you. Pointing out realism is not being an ist.
You're a race realist. Oh, gotta cancel you now.
Realist. Oh dear God, heavens.
Well, I mean, like like things like just commonalities, that traits that just exist, that due to microculture or due to subculture, they exist. Like these are things. And pointing them out does not make you. Well, my son said yesterday, we were arguing about, because he leans a little more left than me, and so we have these really good debates about social issues. And last night we were talking about the women being, now they're put in the draft. Now that the women are being put in the draft in the United States. And I said, good, it's time for them. If they want rights, they need to put it up and die like the rest of us. You know, it's time. And he said, that's hateful. I said, how's that hateful? I was like, that's equality, right? And he says, something can be true and hateful at the same time. You know, like something can be true and disparaging or be something dark or, you know, at the same time. And so that's like kind of what that meant. It was like, I'm not being racist. I'm being realistic. And realistically, da-da-da-da-da. You know, and so I enjoy that. I think that these are things we need to talk about and debate and have discourse.
Discourse.
Stephen, don't worry. If he gives you lip, put him in the 8.5-minute hold.
Okay. All right.
What happened to George Floyd? Yeah, he got put in the 8.5-minute hold.
That was a hell of a hole. So again, here we go with Rotten Tomatoes, 85%. Audience score, 14%. What does that mean? Like, what, in your opinion, when you see something like that?
In my opinion, or do you want something a little bit more factual? I feel like we've been just, dropping facts left and right, carpet bombing, as it were. What this means is the writing on the wall is that Star Wars is, unfortunately, irrevocably, has been for quite some time, for the better half of a decade, dead in the dirt. It was buried alive, kicking and screaming. Kathleen Kennedy with the shovel. You know, Dave Baloney, phony Baloney, Filoni, Mahoney, Baba Booey, is now part of the same the same vein, been suckered into it. And, Jon Favreau saw the writing on the wall and dipped out. It's just Star Wars to me is something that you just bring out from your vault, your collection, and you watch it and you go, I remember Tauntauns. Oh, I remember Tauntauns. But like, this stuff that they're doing now, there isn't even an excuse for this is catering to new audiences. This is, for lack of the better word, vulgar, slanderous diatribe with a fucking label slapped on it that says this is Star Wars. And it's not even slapped on straight. It's like those Amazon motherfuckers. So, did you have too much to drink last night? Yeah. Tape the box. Like,
it's definitely not straight, bro.
No. Yeah, it's definitely not straight. It could be argued that it is also, as to coin another ancient term from the old days of the internet, fake and gay. Like,
yeah, well said.
Yeah. So and I did watch a couple episodes for Pop Culture Breakdown because we covered it, and the set production value is so bad. They don't understand how fire works in a mountain. There's this Sith Lord thing that looks like a gimpy xenomorph smiling, walking Crest commercial helmet. He's like, look at me. I play keyboard for Slipknot. Check me out. And, like fucking just like throwing all of these Jedi away. The only action scene in this fucking film was one oversized pill bug. And one of the jokes that I wanted to say there, but I couldn't just because we were strapped for time, was simply this. I was just like, if that Sith Lord was there, he would have killed all those giant pill bugs, okay? Because he's that badass. So super! But here we are.
You're kind of fucked when your tracker on the planet is a rodent that got squirted on by...
the money shot, yes. The money shot.
The female. He said he sneezed and snot came out of his eye, but it genuinely looked like the female was pissing on the rodent. And then there was a later scene where a female, might have been the same one.
I retract my Slipknot.
Stumbled upon the lost rodent tracker alien, and she was like on the floor looking up at the rodent, and the rodent was scared. And her head, as she was on the floor looking up, was at the exact level as his crotch. And I said to Dragon Slayer, edit that, because he's very good at edits, and put the rodent thing right next to the female, especially after the scene where it looks like she's squirting on him. So,
It is a money shot. It is, for lack of the better word, a money shot, meaning that they have also checked off the bestiality box. Good job.
Man,
Leslie
so-
Headland, going places, making headway into the land of the woke. Leslie, love you.
The only woman I've ever seen looks like Lord Farquaad from Shrek.
Some of you may die, but that is a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Hey, she learned a lot from Harvey Weinstein, man.
We shouldn't all be judged by our pasts, right? But
I
considering
think she
that,
looks like a Lego Brickman or Minecraft Steve. Ooh. Leslie, what do you think about this episode? Ooh, 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 ooh. Ah,
Is that the sound she makes when she's scissoring?
depends. Which version of Minecraft are you using?
What the fuck is Minecraft?
it's one of the best games ever, bro. It's a fun game.
I detect
Boring
bait.
as fuck.
You
I
build
detect
stuff. You
bait.
craft stuff.
I detected bait with that phrase. That was obviously a hook that I was supposed to bite, but thankfully, Steve was all over
Terraria.
that shit.
Boring as fuck 2D version of Minecraft.
You
Fine,
know,
Roblox,
you gotta use
is that
your
better?
you've gotta use your imagination, Brian. You gotta use your you build
Just call me
things.
Brian.
Uh-oh.
No, I didn't say Brian. I said Ryan. You got
I heard Brian.
Hero Brian.
You say my name again, please, Stephen.
Ryan. It
Yeah,
was a
you
hero.
say-
It was a hero Brian joke, but nobody got it, so it's okay.
Hey,
Like,
Stephen, I'm an
Yeah.
evil version of Culture Casino. You remember that, right? Like an evil variant of everyone else.
Mirror universe culture. God help us all.
Slender Dad says, "Oh, first off, Slender Dad had some issue. By the way, he said, do not bring Slipknot into this.
I
Thank you
retracted it.
Thank you very much. He also has two examples of the writing caliber on display in the Acolyte. One, a Jedi tells another Jedi she can hardly be committing another crime while in your custody because the actors have to tell the audience what to think. Whoo! Now I have not watched the Acolyte. I am simply laughing at it. You gentlemen apparently have put yourself through this. I have to watch it because I'm going to have to start reviewing it. But and number two, Slender Dad says the pro tag says I'm literally freaking out right now because millennial writing.
Mm-hmm.
What's what
This show is fucking depressing, man.
is it?
Yeah.
It's like the McDonald's that you go to after 30 years whenever you remembered a magical, wonderful place, and now it's just
It's
depressing.
all been going downhill simply because of the fact that Star Wars was never designed for television. From The Mandalorian to The Acolyte, it has been going downhill. Whether it was The Mandalorian itself, season 1, season 2, perfectly fine, but from then on, it was just going downhill. Then you had likes of Kenobi and Book of Boba Fett, and of course Andor, Ahsoka, The Acolyte, soon to be the Skeleton Crew, which will be even fucking worse. The Star Wars as a brand is bleeding out, and Disney are going to bleed it dry while it's bleeding out.
Absolutely.
From a fireplace in space, I can understand something rupturing and blowing up either spontaneously or continuously, but not like a fucking fireplace. Like it's a literal fireplace on a ship, on the side of a ship. That's what it looked like a cackling fire. And that's not even the most egregious part of it. The power of one, the power of two, the power of many, the power of scissoring.
Power of Lysol, baby.
The Force is female, the thread. That's what they call it now, the thread. The Force ain't female, Stephen. The Force is fucked. Simple.
Well, speaking of that, I'm actually been told to look forward to the porn parody of the Acolyte. I hear that's going to be good. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well,
Lesbian Jedis.
Well, I want to make sure that everybody knows that Cheech and Chong did do it first with Queer Wars. Okay.
Oh, they did. Thank you, Tony.
And I've been shaking my fist at Kathleen Kennedy this whole entire time. I'm like, why isn't they suing her? I just don't know.
because of the power that she has. Because look, okay, I got to go back. I got to reach back into the narcissisms. I got to reach the dragon. I got to reach into Dragon Storm here for a minute, because doing that content and learning about those conditions, cluster B disorders, has really given me an insight into blue-haired weirdos, social justice warriors, and people in Hollywood. They don't believe that they're wrong. Kathleen Kennedy does not believe that she's wrong. She has a bubble around her of warped reality that says that she's right in everything that she does. And if you do not back that up, she will attack you. Just like other people in Hollywood, actors, producers, all right, and those that support them. If you do not capitulate to their bullshit, to their narrative that they have constructed, where they are the heroes and the good guys, they will come after you and attack you. They will send their monkeys, they will send friends, they will send allies, they will send people out to destroy your name, destroy your character, destroy you. And so you have this entire network of sycophants, of awful people working in Hollywood that burn it to the ground, just like Slender said earlier, that are all making sure they all recognize one another, a whole bunch of narcissists who recognize one another. And they realize that if they don't reinforce this grand bubble, this grand illusion around them, if they don't protect one another, then they have to admit that they're wrong. And they're not going to admit that they're wrong. And that's why Kennedy hasn't been fired. And that's why she has continued year after year to be supported by this industry and by the flying monkeys in the media and the other far leftists who are all toxic and hateful and just want to blame somebody else. They create problems for which there is no solution in order to blame someone else for them being hateful for them, of who they are, of the anger and the ists and isms and phobes and all the things they hate about themselves that they project upon others. The reason that Hollywood needs to fall is because that is the makeup, that is the DNA of present day Hollywood. Yeah. It's not every last one of them, but they are all people who have to reinforce each other's BS, or else they're going to get ostracized and attacked. They're going to be drummed out. They're not a part of the hate club. And at the same time, for all these millionaires who have issues, all these privileged ass people, all these privileged millionaires who have issues, who are living the high life, to point the finger at everybody else because they're really shit inside. They've had to sell their souls. They've had to do whatever they've had to do, in groves with owls and shit, whatever it is that's going on out there. But because they hate themselves, they have to blame us, the fans. The reason that they took things like Star Wars and Star Trek and Doctor Who and these things and devoured them and morphed them and changed them and created them and turned them into platforms, cudgels, was because they wanted to create problems. They wanted to depress other people. They wanted to anger other people, to devalue others, to take something that we loved and turn it into something that they can use as a weapon. It has nothing to do with love for these lords. Absolutely nothing. That it's all about reinforcing. No, never did. It's all about bullshit. That's why Kennedy isn't fired, because they're loving it. All the narcissists in Hollywood are jerking off the whole time, going, "Oh my God, look how many people she's pissing off. Look how many people. Look all these fans that are angry. Look at this wonderful, hopeful franchise. This thing that people loved and adored through generations, like Doctor Who is a great example that people adored over generations. Right? That's the oldest of all the franchises. Take it, destroy it, turn it into something it's not, and that way we can create depression and anger among all these innocent people who just want to love their franchise, and then blame them for it, and project their ills, their ists, their phobes onto them for it. It's I'm telling you, narcissism. This is the biggest problem that we have in Hollywood and in politics, and that is why they do what they do. I'm telling you, look, going through what I went through may have been hell, but I got the greatest course in education in as far as the personality types that are involved with they're running these franchises and why they have done what they've done. And it's a sick thing. What's even crazier about it, Tony and Ryan, is that the reason that we've seen channels like Geeks and Gamers, Drunk, Raging Rhino, all these channels that have grown over time, is because these people, they want that interaction. They want the hate videos. They want the smear videos. They want us talking trash. They want us angry. They want us pointing them out. Because although they will never admit that they are wrong, they are deriving something called negative fuel from that interaction. They look at it as though I'm affecting that person's feelings and that validates my existence. So it is a self-feeding cycle. It is a continuous cycle. And people like Doomcock and people like Midnight's Edge, who have continued to run in this vein, must have understood at least the baseline principle that if you attack if you continually attack a narcissist or a narcissistic person over and over again, you will get nothing but constant energy. It's a constant turn of energy and abuse.
A feedback loop.
Exactly, sir.
And that's why the mercanti creature won't go away.
Exactly.
Christ. But
exactly
yeah, we are taking on an empire of lies, and in a sense, the first step is being weaponized against all content creators, highlighting the problem. Hence the saying, highlighting the problem can only go so far. That's why you need the second and the third steps.
Well, okay. I got to dip in the dragon storm here for a minute. I'm sorry about that. Okay, and what Angelus is saying is correct, right? First off, he's saying that it's come the top down. Our government is funding the message, absolutely, and it's not just the government. Those are the puppets too, from the people who are actually running the show, the Illuminati, the Top 13, NWO, whatever you want to call them, right? And it is much larger than just Hollywood, right? I've always said, my segment, my battle in the culture war is in entertainment. He says, which is why you need to stop their supply and give them nothing. This is the thing, Angelus. This is the thing. You want to defeat narcissists? Truth. Yeah, hammer the truth. Exposure, exposure, exposure. Now, that may not stop what they're doing, but as we have seen people grow over time, Nerdrotic, for instance, has grown over time. His ability to express his messaging, his ability to express and point out what they are doing has grown larger. The thing with narcissists, mirroring, I went through like mirroring narcissists for a while, as if that's a good thing. But the truth of it is that when you mirror somebody who cannot stop themselves from engaging in a combative situation, who has to reinforce their lies and their delusion, you can feed off of that. You can also feed off of that and grow. They can't stop and help themselves but to engage. There's some social justice nut jobs out there, them Antifas that are, they can't stop themselves because they have to believe their bullshit. They have to reinforce it. But you can use that energy to grow a platform, because of the constant interaction, until you become so large that your message begins to reach more and more people. And that's why G&G is successful. That's why World Class is successful. That's why these channels are successful, because they've understood that principle. And I understand what you're saying. Stop giving them supply and feed them, but we can't. This is the thing. I understand the logic in that. I understand what you're saying. Stop giving Disney attention. Stop watching Disney. I get that. But if they're going to give us the energy, if they're going to give us the attention that we need in order to grow a counter message to their propaganda, then I say use it. Use it, because they're not going to be able to stop.
Well, I managed to find an answer to this through a fine folk and fellow creator by the name of Will of the Fans. I'm on his show every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday.
Oh, I don't know who that is. Who's that?
He's a British content creator. He's now based in the Philippines. Recently became a father of a lovely daughter, and his passion is Doctor Who. And he has found that since starting Who TF Live, which is every Sunday, thousands of people have watched. They've enjoyed the show. And he has found from the interaction he's had with all the fine viewers that they have stopped watching the show as a result of Will, not just Will, but other creators beforehand, highlighting the problem. I understand the ignore tactic, the strategy of ignoring the opposition and then it fading away. I once proposed such a strategy to deal with this disease.
Oh, it's valid. Yeah.
And unfortunately, though, it's like ignoring AIDS or cancer or any other kind of disease. If you ignore it, it won't go away. Likewise with politics. You ignore politics, but politics doesn't ignore you. And I think one of the reasons why we are where we are today, not just in pop culture, but in politics and in Western civilization, is that we have ignored the problem for far too long. Ignoring it won't mean it goes away, especially in Disney's case, because they will make project after project, even if no one watches. We know they have paid bots to do reviews. They might as well pay the fucking viewers to be bot views as well. They want their empire of lies to continue to indoctrinate those who are susceptible, not just in popular culture, but in the political realm as well. Whether it's the American Uniparty, the British Uniparty, and the structure, the globalist structure, mostly spearheaded by the United Nations and the World Economic Forum. The point is, ignoring as a strategy doesn't work. The last 70, 80 years is living proof of that.
You know, okay, when you no, and I agree, and I absolutely agree with that. When you're talking about like okay, personal relationships, ignoring absolutely works. You're talking about like a narcissistic ex or family member or friend or friend, you know, absolutely ignoring a toxic person like that, like you don't mean shit to me. That does work. But when it comes, you're right. When it comes to messaging, we cannot ignore it. We've been saying nothing. We've been going along in our lives, and it just gets worse and worse and worse because the system is set up to devalue us. The system is set up to control, smear, and devalue us. Angeles brings up a good question. Then, what is the end game? For me, the end game is to have built such a large enough voice that I can affect and change. I can affect and change people's views, open their eyes to see the propaganda and what's actually being done. That doesn't mean they have to agree with my exact views. I thought, God, we don't need that. We don't want that's. I'm not trying to do that, but I definitely want to be a spokesperson for critical thinking, observation, and seeing what is happening in our entertainments for what it is, which is that our entertainment's being misused, literally colonized, used as racist and sexist weapons to attack people while calling them colonizers, racists, sexists, just the complete the gaslighting involved in people like at Disney Lucasfilm. That is that's kind of my end game in order to change and affect culture. I mean, Ryan kind of just touched on that. Like, what would you say to Angeles?
My response is kind of a very long one. I'll try my best to boil it down because that's what I'm now known for. The fall of the fandom menace to me was a great indicator that this is not going to be won in a single generation. This is a multi-generational struggle that rivals, say, for example, the Cold War, because you have two opposing forces that are both incredibly strong. You've got the entertainment establishment, the political establishment, from the perspective of the Western world, going up against this alliance of alternatives of many fine folks and fellow creators who combined inspire tens of millions of people, not just in popular culture, but also in the political realm. The biggest problem is our lack of unity and our lack of organization. Why? Because some of those fine folks and fellow creators are at each other's throats. The Rippaverse situation is a great example of that. You see Eric July with his 3 steps. He has highlighted the problem for many years. He's found a solution, and he's tried his best to be the solution. A lot of people love it. A lot of people hate it. Kind of reminds me of a franchise. And that's the way to do it, the corporate route, go from content creator to creator enterprise to creator-based corporation. It's also another way to do it, like a popular movement sort of thing, a grassroots campaign, but that also takes time. The biggest value isn't money, folks, it's time, and we're running out of it because, our opposition are getting desperate. And we've seen that, given how insane the discourse has gotten over the past decade, since the start of Gamergate until today. And that insanity will continue. We can all do our part, but without unity and collective action, we will be picked off one by one. And that's the key. Unity and organization. And we don't have either, because there isn't that key figure to bring us all together. Why? Because too many people benefit from going at each other. That's why bridge builders get purged by both sides of any conflicting situation.
Nice, brother. Tony, what do you think? Is it worth covering these things? Is there an end game to it?
The end game is outside of the scope of the individuals that are running pop culture. This is an attack on the Western world. This is an attack that is, for lack of a better word, an undermining series of psyops to make the general population too soft to be able to defend themselves for whenever they strap their jackboots on and start going to town. That is the end game to this movement.
Just look at what we eat, though, Tony. I mean, there's so much sugar in our food supply, and we wonder why everyone's obese. We're literally being fattened to death, not with fat or even salt, but with sugar, and that's why everyone's getting diseases and dropping dead before their time.
Yeah.
They want to make people soft and comfortable so that when the hard decisions are made, nobody is going to be able to make them. That is the
Thank goodness for global warming, though, because it's getting hotter and we're all sweating it off. So that's a good example. That's why they don't want global warming.
Right.
You know, this body positivity movement, this body.
See any fatties in India? That place is fucking boiling. They sweat it out. They don't need to pee. That's why they breed all the time, so they can actually use that stuff down there.
Yeah.
Before Tony leaves, I just want to say, do I need to play? Don't need to play this song.
If you're playing, hey, I want to sing my song, but I've already.
You're gonna sing your song.
I have already consigned to the fate that I'm not going to be playing it on the piano because I like to play the full length at.
I danced to this tune, Stephen. Dragon Slayer made a video of it, me dancing to the tune.
Tony, listen. Next week, play the piano. Next week, absolutely. Yeah. I'm sorry, buddy.
The conversation's too good. The conversation's too good.
I wanted to, Steph, what to say? I love Steph, by the way. Steph's an adorable
lovely
woman.
Lady. Had a good talk or two with her on SNH.
She understood my fifis were hurt at a Geeks Gamers meetup and hung out with me. And thank you, Steph. What did you guys have a chance to see this song that was put out?
Is this the rap song? I tell you what. I'll meet you in the middle. Middle.
Right.
Before you play this, I'll sing the rap song that Sean Carter and I made, which is significantly less in length.
Well, please! I don't even want to play this. I'd rather listen to you.
Okay. Well, the attack. We'll do the day that Star Wars died next week.
Oh dear.
So it's better.
Okay.
It's better. But this little particular tune. Hold on, I'm gonna need to finish this beer. Oh my god! All right, yeah. Here we go. Yeah, my rides are like, "Oh, are you gonna go play cards?" I'm like, "Give me a second." All right, so here we go. Cheers. And this is a song that we just made last night. Sean Carter and I made this, and he did the first stanza, and then I finished it because it channeled my anger. I augured it. So cheers.
Dun, 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 dun.
As I scan through my collection to the right and the left, I take a look at pop culture and realize there's nothing left because I've been watching and loving it so long that even my mama thinks that my IPs are gone. I ain't ever dissed a CEO that didn't deserve it, who treats us like punks. I know that you've heard it. They all went and gambled. Our IPs are dismantled, and you and your homies are listed to be canceled. I really hate the trip, but I got a lull. All their shows have gone woke, and they're going broke. Fool, we're the kind of fans that people want to be like. Bringing pop culture back, gonna flood it with sunlight. They're trying to turn our lives into a woke-ass paradise. They're trying to turn our lives into a woke-ass paradise. They're trying to turn our lives into a woke-ass paradise. They're trying to turn our lives into a woke-ass paradise. Look at the cannon leaking. They got it streaming. I can't watch a normal show. It was raised by the woke, so I gotta be down with the OGs. Really good television cause of chasing dreams. I'm an educated geek with starships on my mind, lightsaber in my hand and a tear in my eye. I'm a pissed off trekker, little Batok slayer, and my blood wine is warm, so don't arouse my batleth. Fool, woke ain't nothing but a stream service away. I'm burning out my eyes What can I say? I'm 41 now, but will I live to see 42? The ways things are going, we are screwed. Tell me, Kennedy and Kurtzman see that the ones you heard are you and me? They're trying to turn our lives into a woke-ass paradise. They're trying to turn our lives into a woke-ass paradise. They're trying to turn our lives into a woke-ass paradise. They're trying to live our lives into a woke-ass paradise. Squandering the money for shit sour, minute after minute, hour after hour. Everybody's drinking because the other half ain't think it's going on in the TV, but they don't know it's shitty. They say I must conform or nobody's going to hear me. If I resist against it, how can they defeat me? I guess they can't. I guess they won't. I guess they fuck. That's why that their life is going to suck, fool. They're trying to live our lives in a woke-ass paradise. They're trying to turn our lives into a woke-ass paradise. They're trying to turn our lives into a woke-ass paradise. They're trying to live our lives into a woke-ass paradise.
Ah, damn, well done.
And yay, well done me for other stuff.
Oh, Tony.
You did a part of it too, maybe.
You got to cut out, brother?
I do. I'll go ahead and put my link in the back room for you.
Well, you have a wrench?
I honestly don't know if I have.
Can someone put a wrench out there for Tony's channel? Tell him where you're going to be, what's going on, what you got going on, brother.
Well, I'm going to be doing a reactor side chat for Fallout tomorrow. Then I'm going to be talking about the top 40 songs of 1984, the year of our Lord, with Robert Wright, Andy Masterson, Gary Ambrosia, and Heather L. on his channel. Then I'm going to be interviewing said Gary Ambrosia and Andy Masterson at the Tower After Hours at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is my Johnny Carson, Jay Leno, David Letterman-esque late show program, complete with laugh tracks and community sponsors. If you want to have a commercial for your channel featured to me, reach out to sindustries@gmail.com, and we will be able to see if we can't slot that into my commercial breaks, as I do run commercial breaks for the community absolutely free. I do it as a labor of love. If you want to make your own commercial and send it to me, or if you want me to do it, I know that I'm doing one for Outlaw Bill and another one for an artist named Azura, who's really, really talented on Etsy. Please reach out, and we hope to see you over there at the Stark of Iron channel. All of these parody songs that you hear me perform are there right after Friday Night Frolics. If you like Friday Night Frolics, I keep the party going for the people that don't sleep and for the people on the other side of the planet. It's a different variety show with more entertainment, more songs, more skits. None of it overlaps with DC stuff. So you're getting more bang for your buck if you want to commit to the overtime. I love each and every one of you. Hail to the chat. Hail to this very generous panel for putting up with my tomfuckery. It means a whole lot from the bottom of my heart and subsequently the heart of my bottom. You guys are great. And yeah, so Zombie Box Review says, I might hit you up for that, Tony. Well, email me. I can actually type this in.
Oh,
all right. And thank you very much, Tony. As far as Azura goes, I know. Hold on, I got to put the
she's
screen
sweetheart.
up. She's awesome. She drew me this.
Oh
so
yeah,
please check her out.
Oh yeah, I'll put this in the back room for you guys and that's my email. But you can also, if you just do a little digging on my channel, find it there too. But I'm the kind of person who don't like opening up an unnecessary tab if I don't need to.
well, shout out to all of Tony's diggers.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone digging, every reach around, every back kiss.
Oh.
Now the question that I will leave for you is what do they find when they dig? Is it goobers or is it raisinets? Love you guys.
It's the origin
brother.
of human civilization, which is definitely not Wakanda.
All right. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you all next week. Hail
Later, brother.
God bless you. Bye.
Hail, brother.
And then there were two, the past and the present, fighting for the future.
Yeah, and so apparently we can't play this because we'll get struck, and I'm not going to play it.
I
What
played
I am,
it on my show.
You didn't get struck?
No, I danced to it on reality-based entertainment. Yeah, that's what Dragon, cut up and.
Oh, play this version. You won't get play that for.
Oh.
I wish I could hit a link. I wish I could. Oh no.
Oh my.
Play that version. I can't even do that. I don't know. Listen, I'm gonna play a little bit of it. Fuck it, I've already got struck.
Oh.
I can't. That's as much as we're gonna play because it's so horrible. I can't do it. It is so bad. When I saw this, let's first off, Ryan, the original edit of the short that I did covering this, I did a dance for myself while Belly was out. I was rubbing it. I was like, my privilege, love my privilege. But I decided that might get people to unsubscribe, so I did not put that version out.
You look like you stole that black top from a black gentleman.
I did not. I don't. I'm too white for that. This is the thing. I didn't know this was a thing until like the day after because I just ignored. I don't know, social media that day, and then I found out that she put this video out, and I'm like, so you made a song attacking Star Wars fans and being racist while calling people racist, and then
she called out not video games journalists. She called out journalists, and she also called out, people who use woke as a bad term. So content creators, past, present, and future. So everyone. She's completely batshit crazy. Although this is the best acting I have ever seen from Amandla Stenberg, the African Jew.
Yeah.
That's a Jewish surname, Stephen.
I know she's mixed. I don't care if you're mixed. Like identify with whatever. Not identify. I have no problem with anybody embracing their culture, history, past, whatever, subculture, like whatever it is. Embrace yourself. I'm a pagan man, for instance, and so I don't understand your problem with that.
You can't say it properly. That's why.
I'm pagan. I can't say pagan. All right, so. Deborah says, did she do the music herself or did I? Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. All I know is that she put it together within 3 days because of the Acolyte rating on Rotten Tomatoes is 14%. Nobody likes it. Everybody's pointing out how bad it is. They literally have been rewriting canon, like being disrespectful to legacy characters. This is what Disney Lucasfilm does. Because they don't care, first off, they don't care about the canon. They don't care about consistency. It's all about them presenting their story. So they took a hero and they made him a villain. They made him a liar. Changed the time, changed his lifespan, changed, Caillou Mundi? Changed, changed everything. And freaking, what's his name? Oh, what's that asshole's name? The guy with the cowboy hat. I can't think of it.
Dave Filoni.
Dave Filoni. Right. Dave Filoni should know this stuff. Dave Filoni was a part of original Lucasfilm. He should know the timeline. He should know these characters. He's supposed to love these characters. And no input, no nothing. But anyway, so she is a Hollywood regressive elitist. These are people who do not actually believe they believe what they're saying, because what they're saying is bullshit. They're narcissists. But what they do is, and Deborah, from my Dragonstorm audience, you understand, what these people do is create a narrative where they're the victim. This millionaire is a victim. She's a victim of racism and sexism. And so since she's a victim, she can point the finger at other people who have nothing to do with her millionaire life and call them ists and phobes, and then project all of her illness and then smear them. So this song is basically a smear campaign against Star Wars fans. It's against fans themselves from this narcissistic personality. So she put together the smear campaign in like 3 days, listen, like I like some African-American music. I like some hip hop, some R&B. I like that shit. This is awful. This is a bad song. This is not even a good song. And the problem, Deborah, because I know you're kind of new to this to this sphere. Let me explain. With me and my Brian and probably everybody else in the chat also has this issue, is that when these regressive, elitist, millionaire, propagandists, racist, sexist, phobe, awful people get a hold of a franchise like Star Wars and then use it as a platform to espouse their rhetoric, it literally takes away our ability to enjoy anything that they have been a part of previously. I love the Hunger Games. That's why I love the Hunger Games. I think that's a great series. I like Jennifer Lawrence, even though she said some really wreck shit. I think she's one of the hottest sluts out there.
The world's first action star, female action.
Oh yeah, but I do like honestly though, I do like that series. This actress played Rue. Which was a character that kind of caught. It was not a pivotal character, but one that really put an emphasis on the issues in that world. And now if I watch this again, I'm going to see this chick, this actress, and I'm going to think, oh, there's that bitch that called me a racist because I didn't like her racism. And this is the issue that we have in watching and actors who conform to this. I kind of like The Mandalorian. I'll be honest with you. I kind of like The Mandalorian. Gina Carano gets fired from The Mandalorian because Pedro Pascal, who plays The Mandalorian, called me and 62 other million Americans racist because we didn't vote the right way. Gina Carano gets fired because she points out that if you begin to stigmatize people, groups of people, based on your own prejudice, that it can create a totalitarian society. It can create you calling your neighbors out like the Nazis did, which is what Pedro Pascal called us. He called us all Nazis because we didn't vote the right way.
They try to gaslight us all into oblivion. The British establishment love to do this, so much so that even to this day, they claim the culture war does not exist.
Oh no, the culture war doesn't exist at all. And the thing is the problem. Okay, so the issue is going back to what I was saying, and this is why it's kind of been. What's up, Scotty? Good to see you, bro. The thing is that when the gaslighting and the smear campaigns from Hollywood by these narcs have been going on for so long that you get people like Draven, who's like, I'm sick of this shit. Don't review it. Don't talk about it. I don't want to hear nothing about it. And they literally remove themselves from the battlefield, which is a healthy thing to do when engaged with an enemy. And these are our enemies. These politicians and actors, these are enemies. When you're dealing with people who just smear campaign you, lie about you, won't come to any kind of civil discourse, won't have any type of conversation, will blame you and blame shift everything they do onto you, like you just walk away. It's what you do with a narcissist, right, Scott? You walk away from a narcissist, no contact. I don't want to deal with you. But we can't do that. Like Ryan was saying earlier, if we do not engage and call these people out for what they are doing, then they've won. Because the game,
like a disease, yes,
exactly. Because the game this isn't a personal. This is a one-on-one. This isn't a relationship or a family member or someone who used to be your friend. This is dealing with people who have so much power that their smear campaigning is incredibly huge and incredibly influential.
It's at least national, and at its furthest, it can be global. Folks, you can't run from this. If this infests the United States of America, it infests the most powerful nation on Earth with the most nuclear weapons on planet Earth, either them or the Russians, one of the two. And you can't run from that. The United States has enough weaponry to end the world right here, right now, in the next 90 minutes, if it wants to. And if these psychopathic bastards get total power, because I really do think, boiling down to it, these fuckers are anti-human, and if they could get away with it, they would press that button and kill us all, including themselves. There is something deeply anti-human about our opposition, and that is why they attack everything, from life to liberty to the pursuit of happiness, which are the three core values, the 3 steps to American victory. Now, unfortunately, Stephen, I have to go and be on Saturday Night Hypnosis right now. Not right now. It's due to go live in 11 minutes. But
if you can you give me 2-3 minutes? Just 2-3 minutes?
Absolutely.
Okay. First off, I want to say, awesome one says, Peg In brought to you by Hotel 6. I don't understand what he's talking about. Would you please give me your assessment of House of the Dragon? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Please.
Oh, of all the science fantasy, not science fiction, fantasy shows that we have seen over the past few years, even when compared to the end of Game of Thrones, this is the best I've seen. Way better than Rings of Power, way better than Wheel of Time, and way better than the final few seasons of Game of Thrones. The first season was stellar. The first episode of the second season, I think, is a solid start for the story to continue. My biggest worry, though, is that we know where the end of the House of the Dragon is going to end up, whether it's over the process of years or decades. That's right back to the beginning of Game of Thrones. And if George R.R. Martin doesn't finish the damn story, then despite any kind of success for House of Dragon, whether it's small-scale success or a viral success that becomes international, it won't matter if the story ain't finished. You can have the best start, the best middle, the best, 3/4 of an end. If you don't finish the final quarter, it's not a good story. It's not even a story. That's why bad stories that are finished are way better than great stories that have not been finished. That is why anyone and everyone who is an author who has finished their story is better than George R.R. Martin, because he has not finished his story. So yeah, there you go. I mean, I shocked you so much your camera went out of.
It did. It broke right out.
But on that note, there's my boiled down assessment.
All right, brother. I'm sorry. Well, I wish we had more time. Maybe we'll go into it a little bit more next week, because I did want to make this a part of the segment.
Absolutely, yeah.
But go ahead, tell people where you're going to be and what you got going on, brother.
Well, guys, you can check me out on Saturday Night Hypnosis. It is due to go live in just under 9 minutes. We don't have a guest lined up, so it'll just be a Hypno and the regulars, myself included, having a good talk of many topics of the day. My goodness, 7 to 8 panelists, can't speak today, with about 7 topics over 3 hours. How can it not be a clusterfuck waiting to happen? But yeah, go and check out Saturday Night Hypnosis, episode 96, I believe. Of course, you can check me out at Ryan Roger Athe, host and founder of Reality Base. We have made quite a few videos for today, and more to come as we end this great month for Reality Based. I mean, this year has been great, especially when compared to 2023. I aim to get to 2,500 subscribers by the end of the year, not the middle of it. So it's all gravy from here on out for the rest.
Awesome, brother.
Thank you for having me. Here's to the
first
man.
Happy birthday!
Despite it called a limited run, if it is a limited run, well, I'd love to learn about narco demons. Talk about tranny demons. Let's learn about narco demons too.
Sounds good. That's good, Ryan. Thank you so much for being here, brother. Guys, please subscribe to Ryan Ryder Athe and check out the Hypno Show coming out afterward.
Well, bye for now, guys. I'll let Steven wrap up. So see you all later.
I never wrap it up. Real men don't wrap it up. All right? We don't do that. Okay? You're not even with a camouflage condom so they can't see it coming. I'm just saying. It's thank you, guys. I guess we really wanted to go more into House of the Dragon. We didn't really have that much time, so I'll just kind of wrap up here with my assessment of it. It kind of echoes Ryan's. I'm having fun with it, of course. Dragons, I love that. The writing, I don't think, is as good as the first 3 seasons first 3 or 4 seasons of the original Game of Thrones, which was a series that I greatly enjoyed. And as we saw with Game of Thrones, which existed when Hollywood was still putting out good content and then became the mess, the post-Gamergate mess that it is, we saw the fall in quality. And I don't think it all had to do with the fact that George R.R. Martin hadn't finished the books or couldn't, because he gave them ideas. He gave Dan and Dave ideas of where the story was going. It had to do with the attitude in Hollywood changing, fans being offensive, people who, supporters of these shows being offensive and ists and phobes, and oh my God, don't vote for the Orange Man, and all of the insane craziness that has come out of regressive ideology, Hollywood ideology. These things destroyed Game of Thrones originally. First off, the show should have went for 10 seasons. It absolutely should have went for a few more seasons. I mean, let's not go back into the whole Daenerys going crazy in one season. Just the fall into the That was crazy what they did. It wasn't just that. I enjoyed the violence and nudity. Okay, and the nudity went bye-bye. All right, and I didn't like that. I like titties in my entertainment, and also just like the strong male characters became weak. You saw that. All of a sudden, their balls were chopped off. We had these wonderful male and female characters. We had great on both sides. Okay, even one that didn't have any balls. We had these wonderful characters, well written, well fleshed out, great, compelling stories that got to a certain point, and then some of them were abandoned. We saw the men all of a sudden, oh my God, don't be straight and white in that show because you're going to become a moron. You're going to become weak. You're going to kneel before a girl. You're not going to be a strong character anymore because the ideology had changed in Hollywood to be sexist, divisive, racist, and destructive, socially destructive. And the show suffered for it. Where always, no matter where House of the Dragon goes, it's going to end up with that Game of Thrones run. Like I said, which was great in the first few seasons. I really enjoyed it. And then it became another platform for progressive ideology. With that dark cloud ahead, it's hard to enjoy anything. It's hard to enjoy anything that's produced by HBO under the Game of Thrones banner. But at the same time, I am enjoying what it is in the time that it is, in the time frame that it is. I am really having fun with that show. Matter of fact, we'll make that the first segment of next week's show so we can really go into that. But I brought that up because we have a couple new people in the chat that haven't seen Author Stephen Walton concept before. Thank you very much, Deborah. Thank you, Scott, for showing up. People in the future who may from the other channel come over and see this. This is why when you have shows like The Acolyte, when you have programs that come from Disney Star Wars, which is a platform for aggressive ideology, Kurtzman Trek, the only thing, in my opinion, good that ever came out of Kurtzman Trek, the new Star Trek, which is completely, is the third season of Picard. The only thing. That, although I do have issues with it, Worf should not be old. He's a Klingon. I do have issues with it. It was a continuation, in my opinion, of the spirit of TNG, of that era of Star Trek, which ended with Enterprise. And I enjoyed that. But other than that, you're not going to get anything but just horrible writing from people with gender study degrees and people who think with their genitalia and want everybody to know what their genitalia is, what they identify their genitalia with, and what they do with it. People who espouse racist, divisive rhetoric, and then point the finger at you, these psychos and these narcs. I can't enjoy Star Trek. I haven't even looked at, some people have told me that Strange New Worlds is kind of an okay show. I can't look at that. I have no interest in looking at that because of what Discovery's done. I'm going to watch The Acolyte. I'm going to watch The Acolyte because I'm going to be reviewing these things again. But for years now, I haven't wanted to watch anything Star Wars because it's not Star Wars. It's Disney Star Wars. It's built on a platform of division. It's destroying the canon. It is not respecting the fans. It's literally attacking the fans, creating things for Lucasfilm, Disney Lucasfilm, that is meant to disparage longtime fans. I can't deal with that, and I don't want. It's not something I want to support. It's something I'm going to attack. It's something I'm going to point out and go after. I feel bad for Doctor Who fans. Like I said, the oldest sci-fi franchise, TV franchise that's existed, and the longest running. And look what's been done to that. This is the issue that is created. House of the Dragon could have a great run from start to finish. From start to finish, it could be a wonderful show, great writing, good adventure, satisfying ending. It could have everything, all the trimmings, or most of them that you would want. But at the end of the day, it's going to end with that horrible, horrible last two seasons that they put out. That had nothing to do with honoring the legacy and lore. It had nothing to do with trying to create a story based around George's notes or the way he wanted to end it. It's all about telling you that you're an awful colonist, a white man, straight guy, that you are and don't vote for the orange man, or you're evil, you're a Nazi, from people who are socialists. This is the cognitive dissonance involved that is being spread by these psychopaths These sociopaths and narcissists in Hollywood. This is the level of cognitive dissonance that they create in their flying monkeys, in their social justice warriors, socialists, labeling people as Nazis. If you don't understand the problem with that, you need to know what the National Socialist Party was. Yeah, I don't understand. That is the problem. Okay, when you have a franchise, let's take Highlander for instance. When you have a franchise like Highlander, right? Who made Highlander 2, which is by all rights not a good sequel. First off, shouldn't have a sequel to a movie that ended in the first one. It was meant to be a one and done. Was not really. I like it because I like some bad things. So I actually like Highlander 2, but I look at it like, all right, this is in another universe. I gotta put this movie in another universe. But the turnaround that they made when they created Highlander 3, what did they do? They went back to the original formula from Highlander 1. They understood that it was bad. They went back to the original formula. What did they do with Highlander 4? Well, they gave us both the Highlanders. They gave us Duncan and they gave us Connor in a movie. And it felt like a Highlander movie or a Highlander TV series movie. It's the canon's, all over the place. But then what did they do with the last one? The last Highlander movie was so bad they ain't made another one since. Because the quickening, what was it called? That was so bad. It was so terrible because they went away from the formula. When you stray from the formula in a series or a movie or a collection of movies, you can come back. You can turn around. You do have that ability to create something better than the movie before or to correct the mistakes that have been made. When you take a franchise, you take a TV series or a film series, and you use it as a platform for identity politics to disparage fans. When you create something like Star Trek Discovery, which is by design meant to insult Star Trek fans, to insult a segment of the population based on their race, based on their sexual orientation, and then propose that you are creating this to fight bigots. When you create bigotry, there is no turning around. There is no way to come back from that. You have now put a stink on a series, on a film, on a franchise that can never be removed. You literally destroyed it. So House of the Dragon could be wonderful. It could be, from that start to finish, could be great. And I hope it is, because I am actually enjoying it. But it will always end in fuckery. It will always end with those last horrible seasons that did not need to be that bad. But they were, but there again, this is why Game of Thrones is a chapter in the Fandom Menace Volume 2, because Game of Thrones began before identity politics, or before the new woke ideology. And then we saw the transformation past Gamergate and how bad it got, the quality and how it fell, because it went from being a show about characters in a fantasy realm that was built on excitement, sexuality, and fighting, and some magical aspects, not enough, but some, into a platform for bigotry, hatred, racism, and gaslighting. And that's all it was. And there's no way to come back from that. Before the narcissism the narcissist activism, exactly. And so, what is it early? Said, no, bro, look, don't get me there. I'm only 47. No, don't do that. I think, no, stop it. Anyway, I want to thank you guys so much for being here. Please check out wherever it is that you're going, whatever channel, whatever live stream you're going to see from here on out. Enjoy it. Hit that like button, share out a link, talk in the chat, talk with other people, because what we have built over the last several years comes from the chats. Hail the chats. It has been us coming together for the love of a franchises or shows that we have adored in our past, that were a part of our childhoods, a part of our growth, and who we are today. And it is fighting ideological weirdos who are out there gaslighting and destroying franchises, because that's what they do. Narcissists. That's what it is. It's psychos and narcissists. So please, guys, do me a favor. Support Support your local content creators, whether they're making books, whether they're making comics, whether they're growing channels. Make sure to support them. Whatever lunch table you sit at, I hope it is blessed and drama-free. And remember, if you are the victim of anybody's smear campaign, and if anybody comes to you and says you shouldn't stream with that person, I wouldn't be around that person. If they come to you in the cut and talk shit, guarantee that person is not your friend, and they themselves are the problem. And never let anybody tell you your worth, and never let anybody say what you can and can't do. And don't let a damn person's criticism, whether it's in the cut or out in front, change you from taking the direction that you want to take, or the belief that you have in yourself. Haters, most of the time, disguise themselves with smiles. All right, smiles holding knives. So don't listen to them. Support who you want to support, be who you need to be, and be the best version of yourself made possible. And support your independent creators out there. I am author Stephen Walton, the Fandom Menace historian, your historian, born in the chats of the High Council with my brothers and sisters fighting for our modern mythologies. Wash your hands, wash your ass, be good to each other, yet suffer no fools. My love to y'all. Thank you so much for being here. Peace.
When you're born in this world, you're given a ticket to the freak show. And when you're born in America, you're given a front row seat.
Wash your